This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the FansToys FT-58 Diverge, their take on a very G1-esque masterpiece Swerve. This is another one of their mini bots coming out, and it looks pretty good. We're going to take a look at this guy. We're going to compare it to all of the previous iterations that I have. And of course, I did get this at Shozy. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get yours, TH reviewer code. But let's get into taking a look at Diverge coming up. Here's the box, and that's how it looks. So, cartoon, kind of a drawing. It's cartoon accurate instead of toy accurate or something like that. There's the back, and we've been looking at these pictures online, waiting for this thing for a while. And here is the figure, mostly right out of the box. And I got to say that most people are probably going to want to tuck this piece here back behind his head. And I really don't think it looks bad either way. You could have it either way if you want to, but there's also other different head options. If you notice, the head doesn't match the body. I probably will make my head match the body with that one, but still, it looks really good. It feels heavy and hefty, lots of paint, and it's got lots of die cast and weight to it, and vac metallized chrome. I am really impressed. I think they kind of went all out on this figure because he's a lesser desirable character, but man, they really did make this so much different than their gears, than their variators. So that's pretty amazing. This is kind of like a pinkish head, which if I go back and watch the cartoon for the 14 seconds he's in it, I might have to see if his head's pink. He's got some nice blue metallic paint right there. Really interesting. This is clear right here, and then transparent. And then there's, if the camera picks it up, there's like stuff behind it. There's like what appears to be like silver painted mechanisms and gears and stuff behind that clear. So really interesting touch right there for a mini bot. It is a $100 price point so it is a little bit more expensive than the average figure, but for a mini bot that they put so much into. Look at the vac metallized thighs and feet. I've just realized I don't see a whole lot of vac metal in the masterpiece these days, and I like that. I really like that, especially when you're going for the toon aesthetic. Now, sticking with some toon aesthetic, the pearlescent paint job they have on the rest of this kind of off-white looks nice too. I mean, it's really impressive. And then is it a mauve red? It's not a bright red, it's like a mauve or something like that. So that looks nice. Overall, I am actually really impressed with this figure and the way he looks, the aesthetic and everything, because it's kind of a goofy looking figure overall. So we're going to get into looking at all the other iterations, and you're going to see how goofy looking it could have been. But wow, they did a good job with this guy. Getting into articulation, the head does go up and down and side to side, and it's not a ball joint. It feels like a full-on, pretty good articulation. The shoulder goes out pretty far. They've done quite a bit with the shoulder. So there's a joint here, and then there's articulation here. No butterfly, but quite a bit. I mean, pretty much everything you're going to need. The way it works, you don't really need... Yeah, I guess you could use a butterfly, but anyway, they've done a lot there. And then going down to... The way it's designed, it doesn't have a double jointed elbow, so you do have some limitations on the elbow because of this chunk right here of the truck. But hey, I'm okay with the transformation being okay. And then we got typewriter fingers down here, something which my son is now really looking for. Any mainline figure that has opening. That's like he's obsessed. Any figure that has some sort of finger articulation in the mainline, he has really been liking that. So that's been a big deal. Okay, waist like this. Extreme ab crunch. You could say it's part of the transformation. Maybe it is. But anyway, the hip flaps. Old school hip flaps, so not the modern kind of like hip flap following the leg. Going back here, we do have vac metallized. It only goes back about that far. It appears vac metallized in the joint in there too, so that's interesting. Because I know that you have to vac metallize the whole part. Thigh rotation swivel. Not double jointed on the knee, but that's as far as you get. And this is where, okay, the lower legs are kind of chunky. That is probably the worst part of it, is the chunky lower legs, and then kind of the chunky up here of this figure. But it is a mini bot, and it's the best one out. Well, we'll decide that here in a bit. Go side to side and a little up and down. I don't get much up and down out of it, but side to side. But still, I mean, great for what you're getting with this guy. Now the gun, as the accessories, we have come to know that, let's see, the rear plug for these, I like that system so much more than trying to push it on sideways, because especially with the mini bot, so you just kind of slide it in like this. I love that. I love how FansToys does that with these figures. And then we get into the rest of these accessories. We have this head, which more or less I think more matches the figure. And then this is the helmet, and then there's another head and a face for different stuff. And then we have 2 more swappable faces. I think all the faces work with all the helmets. And so let's see if I could put in maybe one of these options here into this face. Quick, easy trick to take the faceplate off. Just push his head back. Get your finger under the chin. Give it a nice little tug. And then it all just comes off. Oh, I'm faceless! And then I'm going to take this one, and I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to slide the face over that loop, and then there's like metallic, nice metallic. That metallic paint goes all the way up. If I can show it up this loop here. Then we're going to plug this in to the face. So it's a nice, simple way to swap it out. Only problem now with putting that faceplate on is that the back of it still looks the original color. But I can just go that route if I want to, right? It's my bot, and I can cry if I want to, or I can scream if I want to. There it is. For comparison time, let's check him out next to G1, and that is a massive improvement, but you can still see where they tried to mimic the little sticker that was there, but give you so much more than the little sticker. This was originally back metallized, I think, so they stuck with that. And this was a no foot syndrome from back in the day. They try to keep these things around a $2.99 price point, I think is what the goal was back then on a Transformer this size. But yep, where we come from, where we're going. Next we have IGEAR. I left IGEAR specifically off the list because you'll see this Friday when I made a list of different companies that you should look at if you're just starting to collect, and I left it off the list for this reason. Here's the thing. The IGEAR one, simple transformation, but just left a lot to be desired. It really felt like they took this and made it into a figure and added just a little bit of articulation, which I don't have a problem with, but this still even looks better in bot mode than that thing does. And then we have what was the reigning king for Swerve for a long time. This is BADCUBE, and BADCUBE still doesn't look bad. So, I mean, same thing with the gears. The BADCUBE doesn't look bad. They did a good job on it 7-8 years ago, something like that. Don't bump the camera. But, yeah, I mean, they did a good job. And as you can see, you got a pink head here, sort of. And similar coloration of the head there, but the whole body's that color. And a group shot. And a group shot simply because clickbait thumbnails don't make themselves. Here he is next to his buddy Gears, or Variator. It's a variation of the Variator mold. I gotta tell you that you could have phoned it in and been like all the other companies that just literally made gears in a different color scheme and slightly changed a few parts, but this is like a 85-90% new figure. There's so much on this that's different, and they did that with their Brawn. They've done that with every character that they've made like this in the past. I've got to commend FansToys. I mean, this is very impressive that they didn't just like change out the chest plate and a few other things, but really, overall, I'm impressed. Also, I got to say, this Gears looks amazing. The more I pull it out and look at it, I mean, yeah, this looks good for the character, but Gears just looks really awesome. Here's how he scales next to a Carbot. This is the plus version of Takara's Prowl, and I got to talk about price with this. So Prowl originally came out for $63 or something weird like that, and then they made the plus was $80, and we're talking still 3-4 years ago when the plus came out. This is $100, $109 or something like that, and it's got all kinds of weight and die cast, weighs more than this guy, and tons of paint on it versus what we were getting there. So value wise, I mean, I'm okay with spending $100 if you're going to get this much value out of the figure. And kind of a group shot here, so you can kind of see what it looks like with an Optimus Prime. I still love the Magic Square. I'm still waiting on my Magic Square toy version, but the old versions are out. We come from a long line of Swerves. We know when we're no longer wanted. All right, now time for the transformation. We are going to lift that up, flip the head around so that we see the two-tone head that I've got going on. I'm rocking the two-tone head. Fold that down, and then we are going to get these pieces here, Audi 5000, and then we're going to lift the camera up just a bit more so I don't go too far off camera. Lift this panel here up, fold this in. Now I'm going to do one fist one direction, one fist the other direction. Fold this like so, lift this up here, and then tuck this in. So we got to clear this bar here. Tuck it in, tuck it in. Let me begin. All right, now time for the transformation. We are going to lift that up, flip the head around so that we see the two-tone head that I've got going on. I'm rocking the two-tone head. Fold that down, and then we are going to get these pieces here, Audi 5000, and then we're going to lift the camera up just a bit more so I don't go too far off camera. Lift this panel here up, fold this in. Now I'm going to do one fist one direction, one fist the other direction. Fold this like so, lift this up here, and then tuck this in. So we got to clear this bar here. All right, it looks like I lost a significant chunk of the transformation in editing, so I'm retransforming this to this point. Anyway, make sure that you have this fold flap up so it fits in just right, and that's how it fits in. And then getting out here to the foot, let's go ahead and fold this flap in. You want to disconnect this with tabs in right here and kind of fold this up and out of the way. And then I just left that one the way it was. Close this, flip this out, and then make sure that you have this out here for later on. We're going to see that, and then close this up, and you want to clear this. You're going to cover over that side flap there as you're folding this up, and then we need to get this up and over like so. We can fold all this up into place and then tab it all in. And then there's the tabs in here. You can push that as hard as you want to get that tabbed in. That's pretty much it. I hope it's better this go around. Make sure these front pieces here are both pushed up. I'm just kind of trying to think of what I had in the first filming that I lost some footage. But anyway, there it is. Pretty simple transformation overall. All right, so we got Swerve, aka Diverge, aka Fingerprint Magnet, looking fantastic. Now I want to show this. I don't know if it's just mine or if everyone's going to have this problem, but when this sunroof was floating around loose in the box, and I don't know if I want to go through trouble of gluing it back in, but it seems to be another issue. I've got an issue with that with mine. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think I'm going to lose it or anything, but it would suck if I did. I'm sure FansToys would send me another one for like $10 shipping, but okay, here is, tab this in just a little bit more. I like the translucent headlights. I forgot to take this second one of these out, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. The paint everywhere, transparent here on the inside. You see just, I guess, some support bars. You can pretend those are humans driving it, right? Or holograms. Really nice. Some back metallized rims. Looks nice. The bottom doesn't really look too bad as like a folded up bot. Not bad at all. If they really wanted to go the extra mile, they could have put an extra flap on this to cover this, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it would have been worth it at all. You could probably shove those tabs in a little bit more and tighten this gap up here. I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, clean looking bot, rolls. I mean, what more could you ask? Now for his gun, the accessory, you can plug it into here. There's a little bar in there, and you can plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. If you want to do that, you can do that. Or you can plug it in backwards. You can plug it in backwards too. and it'll hold if that's something that you want to do. Weapon storage. Comparison, we're literally going to show the G1 transformation. I do that sometimes just to show how simple things were back in the day. But here we go with G1 comparison, which they have a lot of similarities. Very similar in many ways. That looks way cooler than what they gave us here. You've got the sunroof and kind of the hood, and they both have the M on it. And yeah, pretty cool. No weapon storage because he didn't come with a weapon for the G1. Then we get into blam. IGEAR. IGEAR was outdated. Even when they put the mold out, they looked outdated. I know you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but that's what IGEAR did. And IGEAR did all these mini-bots back in the day in sort of masterpiece-ish scale, if you want to say that. But I thought it was fun that they existed, but I didn't think it was really the best. I knew that 10 years later we'd get a better one, and there it is. So this is the Magic Square Prime. I like it because it's cleaner than the MP44, and the only thing that I would think that would improve the Magic Square is have a little die cast and weight in it. You give it a little bit of weight. And actual real paint, well, we'll see that pretty soon, hopefully. But there is that. Then we've got his brother. Well, not really, but I mean, this is the IGEAR version, and I figure why not just keep the IGEAR version around for some sort of comparisons and seeing a different take from different company. Obviously, there's more similarities between the FansToys Variator and that. And then X-Transbots, throw X-Transbots in the mix here with their, is it a Dune Rider? Now I'm starting to forget what they even called it. My brain, Arcos, X-Transbots Arcos. That's it. Looks crazy cool as a dune buggy. I don't think a dune buggy should be bigger than a truck. And just for fun, this is what it looks like next to the FansToys version of Powerglide. That's a big airplane for a mini-bot. That's a mini-bot. Well, sort of, but not really. All right, so this is my look at the FansToys FT-58 Diverge, their take on a Swerve. I think they did a fantastic job. Like, knocked this one out of the park. The only real negative on this is the character itself. No, never really looked all that cool. It's just what it is. They took that figure, made him look okay. I still think that other characters look better. I think a lot of people are going to pass on this simply because of the character and that they just don't really seem to care about the character. But they did a lot of vac metallized gold, tons of paint all over this thing. It looks fantastic. Transformation is pretty intuitive and solid. And the clear transparent, that's really cool. Just so much stuff they did with it for a $100 price point. Mini bots. I mean, I know that's getting up there for mini bot prices, but you're getting what you pay for out of this guy. Anyway, I have a link down below where you can get yours at Show Z. I hope they don't sell out too fast because it is a pretty good figure, and if you want one, I hope you get your hands on it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Titanium Hammer out.
I've got his transmission. The battle platform is headed directly for Autobot headquarters.
Then bam! Let's prepare the ambush. We have no choice, boom, but to make our stand here.
Autobots, we've got to hold that thing off till the cog arrives.